Hi there, welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto, and yesterday I did this video here. It was called Bitcoin's Awesome Pump, exactly as predicted by Quadzilla, the awesome free indicator. Okay, now a couple of comments I got here. One was from Resonate saying, can you please make the video and explain everything from A to Z like I'm a 5-year-old? Okay, well that sounds like a great idea, and I'll probably do like a dedicated video for that over the weekend. But today I just want to show you, well, some little things which might help anyway. Also, Steve here said, hi, thanks for your work on this. In live mode, how do we know when the trend triangles have finished? Okay, I will talk about that in a moment. Steve also said, have you tried backtesting with these as entry points? I haven't. Okay, so let's have a little look anyway. So I'm going to start off with a fresh chart with no indicators. This is the Bitcoin USD chart on BitGet. This is the 1 hour time frame. So if you go to indicators and you type in quad space rotation, or just that will do, you can see quad rotation stochastic by Save with Crypto. Now I did try to rename it yesterday to Quadzilla, and the way it's worked out is the actual indicator is called Quadzilla, but the page it's on is called quad rotation stochastic. I'm afraid that's how it's going to be for the time being, because I don't know how to change it on TradingView. The only way I could do that is to unpublish it all and then republish it, but I don't particularly want to do that because there is a process that goes on which you need to not upset anyone, and as I've not upset anyone this time, I want to kind of just leave things as they are. So at the moment, yeah, just look for quad rotation and you'll find quad rotation stochastic by Save with Crypto, and it's currently got 160 likes. So let's give that a click and add it. Now you can see here what it does straight away. It adds this momentum indicator down here, and it also adds on these two lines, this yellow one and the green one here. These are both exponential moving averages. It's nothing that clever, to be honest, but what I like doing is I like using these moving averages to detect like bullish and bearish changes in momentum. So for example, when the yellow crosses over the green, that is a bullish sign and the price usually goes up. And then when you see the opposite happening, oh, actually there's one there. When you see the opposite happening there, the price usually goes down. So that is one thing I do look out for. However, we've also added this extra thing here. So you can see this purple area here. Okay, that means that these EMAs are starting to converge. Okay, now if they converge, that will be a bearish sign and the price will come down. Now they don't always work out like that, but more often than not they do, such as that one there. There is the opposite as well. When the price is going up and you get the green convergence as well, and that is normally a bullish sign, so the price goes up. But if you look in the past, let's try and find an example. Okay, so this one here and this one here, they were starting to converge, but they didn't actually touch. They didn't cross. Okay. Now, what I'm hoping is at the moment we're going to get something like this again, because at the moment you can see that the yellow is coming down and the green is heading towards it. And it's very possible the price could come down, but it's also possible that they won't touch and they might move apart again, in which case the price will go up. Now, in the past, I've also added 2 extra EMAs. So at the moment, this one is 55, this one's a 21. I normally add a 9 and a 5. Okay, I'll show you that in a moment. So that's what's new in this top main chart. Okay, so down here in the momentum indicator, what we have is this thing that we call a convergence band. This is created by 4 different stochastic momentum oscillators, and what you're looking for here generally is when it squeezes up above this 80% line or below this 20% line, and that's normally when you see the change in trend. Okay, Now, other things you see are these like green triangles. Now, this is what that comment was about, okay? So I think it was Steve. Was it Steve? Yeah, it was Steve. Okay, so you want some sort of indication that these green triangles are going to stop appearing. Okay, I can't think how to do that really. But what we have introduced is this kind of like fading. So you see that the green triangles get less intense as they're about to disappear. Okay, so that's what you want to look out for. However, during this period here, they did start to fade a little bit then. So there's no easy way for that really. You just keep an eye on it. And in this case, it would be a matter of just, checking every hourly candle for when they stop appearing. Now, would I use that as a entry point for a trade? Sometimes, but not always. I probably wouldn't have done here because at that point, the yellow and green EMAs were quite far apart. And this was a trend to the upside. And the trend to the upside at this point in time was actually rather strong. Bear in mind that this chart here is all about trend. This chart here is all about momentum. And generally, I would say that trend wins over momentum. So what are these triangles? Well, these triangles appear when the stochastics are all quite high and everything is saying that the asset is overbought and it really should be starting to change direction quite soon. In this case, to pull back and the price to go down. But the green triangle says that just hang on a minute because at the moment the price is still going up. So that's how you have to read that. In addition, we've got these red backgrounds and green backgrounds. And these also vary in intensity as well. And these appear once again when the stochastics are in their extremities. So for example, the stochastics were very high here, so we were looking like we were going to get a pullback, which we did. And here it meant that the stochastics were all very far down here, so it's likely that you would get a pump, and that's exactly what happened there. Now there is one more symbol as well, which is this one here. Let me just expand that. Okay, so this little green arrow there, and you can see there's one there as well. This is called the super up indicator. Now this is when all four stochastics are pretty much saying the same thing. So this is called the super up indicator, and it implies that it's very likely that the price is going to increase. Okay, so that is in fact exactly what happened there. And to some extent, that's what happened there as well. So obviously seeing that green background with the little green super up arrow is really cool. There is the opposite of that as well. There's the super down arrow, which appeared here, and you can see here the price came down. It's actually a lot more simple than you think it is. Now generally you can look at the indicator, use it straight out of the box, and it's fine, and it's how we recommend you should use it. I like to change it a little bit because I like to add in these extra EMAs as well. So the 9 EMA is this cyan line here. There's just a little bit of a faster EMA, and the 5 EMA. The 5 EMA almost follows the current price really, but I like to put those in because I like to use these to confirm what kind of trend you're in. So for example, when they're in this order here, like red, cyan, yellow, green, that is a trend in motion to the upside. And here, where you've got red, cyan, yellow, green, the other way around, this is a trend in motion to the downside. So I like to add those extra EMAs in. Some people like to see the 200 SMA as well, which is a very popular simple moving average. And that's this line here. And generally, the price will tend to be attracted to that 200 SMA. But normally that's one I don't tend to put on, because I don't like too many lines on my chart. Other than that, depending on how you've got your TradingView set up, you might not be interested in seeing all these extra prices over here. And, sometimes there's a big line of numbers down here. If you want to clean that up, you can go to settings and you can turn that off there, and go to inputs as well, and just turn off that. And that will clean it all up as well. Okay, so what are my thoughts about Bitcoin today? Well, today is July the 4th, so there's no trading of traditional markets happening in the US today. So there's going to be kind of low volatility, that kind of thing. So at the moment, what I don't want to see that yellow 21 EMA cross this 55 EMA, because if that happens, I think the price could come down quite a bit. If that doesn't happen, I'm reasonably confident that we'll go up maybe to what we were at yesterday, possibly even a new all-time high in the next week or so. Now, over in my Telegram group, which is free to join, by the way, just go to savewithcrypto.org/TG. And the post was from Brit Australian, who said, and just for reference, if there are any doubters out there about Quadzilla, just show them this image, perfection. And he was looking at Bitcoin on the 12-minute time frame, and this was great because the low was there with a green background, a green super up arrow, and the price has gone up ever since. Now, I kind of missed this myself because I was looking at the BitGet chart, and it does vary a little bit between exchanges. So on the ByBit chart here, you can see we did indeed get that green super up arrow, and that might have been because ByBit seemed to have this wick down here that came down to like 108.440, and that was obviously enough just to trigger the green super up arrow. But that's been beautiful since then, hasn't it? I've also been looking at the 5-minute time frame because I do like to see these green and yellow EMAs cross over in a bullish way, and they actually did that about half an hour ago. So I am hoping that that was a bit of a bottom, at least for the time being. But zooming out here to the daily time frame, you can see that we're so near an all-time high, aren't we? And I'm not going to worry about it topping out until we start seeing these like red backgrounds with Quadzilla on the daily time frame. So overall, I'd probably say that, if we could break the all-time high from May, we could be going up to 112 and beyond. But on the 1 hour time frame, do keep an eye on these yellow and green EMAs, because we don't want to see them cross. If they cross, the price could come down quite heavily. But this is why I like having the red 5 and the cyan 9 on, because you can see they're starting to turn up now, and what you want to see is the red cross the cyan. That will be positive. Then hopefully they'll get above the yellow and we're off to the races. That's the plan. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And while you're down there, please do give the video a big fat like. Make sure you are subscribed and you've got the notifications turned on. Do go and get the indicator. Just go to savewithcrypto.org/QR and you'll go straight there. I'm trading this on Blofin. At the moment, there's excellent sign-up bonuses. And we've got a trading competition going on where you can win $4.2 million and a Cybertruck. So to get involved with that, go to savewithcrypto.org/Blofin. It's a non-KYC exchange, so you don't have to show them a passport or tell them who you are, which is super cool. And above all, tell your friends.
I can't believe that Save with Crypto and MAF have chosen to make the quad rotation stochastic indicator in the United Kingdom rather than the United States, but they have clearly lost their minds because they are not even selling this great product. They are giving it away for free.
Okay, so we all know that Save with Crypto is the best YouTube channel on the planet, but it's not financial advice, right? So please do your own research and be responsible for your own actions. That way you will find that fairy tales will come true and we'll all become billionaires.